welcome to What in the Actual Mental Health. Boop-a-doo-doo-boo. We're just our own sound effects at this point, so you're welcome. We have today a very wonderful guest, Miss Lauren. Lauren, will you please introduce yourself, what you do, all the things you want the world to know about you?
Oh my gosh, I do lots of things. So yeah, my name is Lauren Gomez. I'm a clinical psychotherapist. I've been working in mental health for over 20 years here in Albuquerque, born and raised.
Nice.
I own a company called High Desert Healing. We're outpatient mental health and wellness and transcranial magnetic stimulation center. I'm also the executive director of the National Association of Social Workers for the New Mexico chapter. And I'm also the CCO of a sober living facility called the Pines Institute here in Albuquerque.
Nice. So you don't do like really anything.
Yeah, then. You know, I have tons of free time.
Yeah, it sounds like you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm super busy, but I always think it's a blessing to be busy. There's plenty of people that would love to be. So
yeah,
awesome. But it's tough.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's why that's why I don't have makeup on today.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Every day. One thing at a time.
Every day's a lot.
Trying to keep it together. Okay, so I'm going to spring this topic, and I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. Maybe you're going to shit it and tell me to pick something else. I don't know. So I read this article, and by read, I mean I heard it on like TikTok, and they read it and then told it to me.
This is basically how these always start. Is Rebecca's like, okay, I read this book. By I read this book, I mean I heard this thing. I read an article
But
and
I
the
actually
cliff notes.
do read books. I'm
She
like
does.
this bitch who
Like
just
a lot of them.
I like to
all
read
the time.
too.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I read all day, every day. We'll have to book it up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Book it. You know, see, that's what got it started. Is that I used to get free pizza for my book reading, and now I don't. No, so I was definitely food motivated. Anyways, so I heard about this article where they were talking about how much we've gotten to this point in the world where everything that you have is diagnosable. So instead of like your quirks, you're now autistic. Instead of like you're just shy, you're anxious. You know what I mean? Like, are we at a point in life now where we're not even allowed to just be quirky or weird, but we have to be diagnosed instead? And is it something that we're going too far with? And we're kind of, I don't know, screwing people in a way because it's not even just letting you be you. It's now making you be a diagnosis.
It's like labeling you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm picking.
That's
Run with
good.
that.
I think that's good.
That's good. I gotta go. See you later.
Okay.
Mic drop. I'm out, bitches.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, no, that's a good one. I have an opinion on that.
Okay, give it to me.
No, I'm gonna go last.
Oh,
though.
okay.
I'm gonna go last because I'm actually not a therapist. So
It's all good.
yeah.
Yeah, I have an opinion about this too. I feel like nowadays at our clinic, we start at age 5. So we're dealing with a ton of parents. Parents are coming in saying, I know my daughter's autistic. She has to be. She does this. She does that. Or I know my son has this disorder or this disorder. And we call it like TikTok diagnosing, right? Like online, you go through these 10 questions and, you know, it tells you if you're autistic or not or have some other mental health disorder. And it's incredibly difficult because we're sitting there and we're trained clinicians and we go through the DSM and it's like, your child is just a little quirky.
Right.
Your child just has preferences, which
Yeah.
they are allowed to have. But nowadays, especially with like medication, it's like, no, I think my child needs to be medicated. And if you're not going to advocate for that, I'm going to go somewhere else. And that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, for them to do because I'm not going to sit there and pretend like their child has something that they don't because they read it somewhere, because their friend's kid has it or, you know, whatever. So, yeah, I think that things are getting really out of control. And it's with adults, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or now I read an article and I know my husband's a narcissist. And I'm like, actually, narcissistic personality disorder is pretty rare. True narcissistic. They can have narcissistic tendencies, so on and so forth. So, yeah, I think that sometimes social media, too much of it can be a really negative thing.
Yeah.
And then we're also comparing ourselves to other people.
Right.
Don't get me started on all that shit. But, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. Somebody was asking me the other day, you know, we've had an uptick in New Mexico of anxiety and then suicides, especially within our teen and tween population. And so somebody was asking me, they were like, what do you think it is? And I said, it's the fact that you have access to diagnose yourself like that. And then it leads you down these rabbit holes that lead you into misinformation. And when you have too much information, it becomes too overwhelming. And when you think about, especially tweens and teens, your frontal lobe hasn't finished developing. So everything feels imminent. Everything feels like this is the moment that this is all there's ever going to be. Why would I want to keep going? Right? It's like when they break up, they're like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. And you're like, I think you'll be fine. Like, you're not going to remember Johnny in a week, but,
But
okay,
it also in that moment really feels like the end of the world.
100%. Yeah,
really
but as
is
an
their
adult, you're
reality.
like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? But that's part of it too, is then you go down these TikTok, Instagram rabbit holes where you're like, okay, it's this and I know it's that, and this is never going to go away, and so I might as well just be done. And then I think that definitely pushes people, especially kids, right over the edge, which is
Well,
crappy.
and then it's really sad because they feel like something's wrong with them.
Right.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, and not teaching them that we all are different. We have things that set us apart from one another, and that's actually a strength to have.
Yeah.
And how to, you know, function and live by our morals and our values, whatever the case may be, and just celebrating individuality.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's tough.
Yeah.
And kids want to fit in with one another. They want
Right.
to look like who they see on social media. They want to act like who they see on social media, and they do, or
Yeah.
they try to. And we've just seen it destroy kids' confidence and self-esteem to the point of something like suicidal ideation.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying
Yeah,
in
yeah.
children that young.
Yeah, it's really scary. Yeah. What was your...
I mean, I agree. Yeah, I think that we just are like a society of like labeling.
Yeah.
Like anytime anybody's like a little quirky or a little slow or they don't learn the right way or they learn differently than you, I've definitely, I agree. But I also think that, it's kind of like 50-50. We also have more resources and the ability to diagnose more and see things earlier on. So I think we have to find that like happy medium where like, yes, you should get evaluated for these things. Like, don't deter that,
Right.
because early intervention is really important, especially for anxiety, ADHD, dyslexia. Like, we've talked about those things like a million times, but also, like for me, I was like pretty sure that my 5-year-old has ADHD, and the initial evaluation just came back like high anxiety, and we talked, and you're like, well, wait a couple of years and have it redone because
exactly.
it could change, or it could be. I mean, everybody, if you've met my 5-year-old, you know she has anxiety.
And
like
she's a girl.
and she's a girl,
Right.
so she masks differently. She's learning different. And there are certain instances that she really, really thrives in when she's not being like watched. And so, yeah, it's going to take her some time to come into if she does have a diagnosis of anything. But I think it's important for us to guide our kids, whether that's one way or another. Like, if you do end up with a diagnosis, that's fine too,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
but if you don't have one, we don't need to be like seeking something
Right,
for,
like begging
for an
for it.
identity, like
Right.
for like, oh, I have to have this. Otherwise I'd just be quirky and I wouldn't fit in kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know, I always tell people it's like really interesting when you look at the DSM. When it very first came out, it was like 70 pages, and now it's like almost 600.
Yeah.
And it will come out again, and it will be even bigger because they're already talking about the things they want to add to it. And it's like, you cannot tell me in, you know, since 1970 when it came out to now that all of a sudden we have 600 more things to be like poking and prodding at. It's
Right.
crazy. And
Yeah.
then there's stuff that like I genuinely like do get frustrated with is like the ADHD and the autism correlation, like how close they can be. There's nothing about that in the DSM, and I'm like, could we talk about that, please? But then we're gonna put all this
Yeah.
other random shit that I'm like, no, okay, all right, well that's dumb. Let's take out page
I hate it here.
312 and add in this shit, and I don't want to do any of that. But I think that's part of it too. Is it's like I always wonder like how much of this is really that accurate, because that's a lot of, again, like, do we have to label everybody? Or could you just be weird? You know? I don't know.
And just live your life.
Right. Yeah. And it does
And
suck,
not
like
try to
as,
fix anything that doesn't need to be fixed.
Right. And if it's just like, you know, because even like when you're a late person who got diagnosed way late in life, it's kind of nice to know, like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But here's something I've noticed in like people who get diagnosed late is it's like one of two. Either they're just like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Or all of a sudden it becomes everything that's wrong in their life is because of that and will always be because of that. And it's like,
Yeah.
whoa. Hold on. You were fine before you knew this diagnosis. You just knew you had something that was different. Now you have this diagnosis, and it's the reason why all things are broken in your life or
Right.
have always been that way. And I think that's kind of, I don't know, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's kind of shitty.
I also wonder too, and like, I can speak from at least like from the medical side as a nurse practitioner, like early on, somebody would come in and they'd be like, I have X, Y, and Z. And you almost feel when you're new, like, very pressured to diagnose something. Like you're coming in, there's got to be something wrong other than we just need maintenance and to talk it out and work on coping skills or whatever. Or like, we just need a little bit of like guidance with diet and lifestyle, you know? So, I also wonder too, if people are getting over-diagnosed because people are, you know, the therapists and psychologists or whatever, people are coming out thinking I have to diagnose everybody with something. And they're feeling like the pressure. And then from insurance companies, there's like reimbursable rates.
Yeah, because you can't just give somebody because generally you give somebody like an adjustment disorder when they first start therapy because it's required that they have some sort of diagnosis and that kind of holds you over, but you can only use it for so long before then you have to like narrow down that they have to have something. And it's like, so there's no choice. Like I have to give you something.
Have to label.
Or they have to get out of therapy.
Yeah, or they're done. Yeah, your insurance won't cover it. And it's like, that's yucky.
It is yucky.
And it's very much too, I think, dependent on the time frame, because it's interesting is that when I worked at the kid prison, especially the girls that would come in, and we're talking like teens, like tweens and teens that were in there, you can't be any older than 18, almost every single one was either bipolar or then eventually borderline. And so it's like you see that there's like the diagnosis of the year, and right now it's autism, right? And before that it was borderline, and before that it was bipolar. And so it's interesting because like you'll see this huge influx of like all these kids or all these people that are diagnosed with this one thing, and you're like, I think you might want to get that checked again because I am 100% sure. And when you think about too, it's like people who are a substance user, you should not diagnose them while they're high or fresh to sobriety.
Yeah, like, even in the first year, like give them some time because their brain is scrambled.
Yeah. So that's always what's interesting to me too, is that when people come with these diagnoses, I'm like, how long ago was this?
Right.
And like, what was going on during that time? And then let's look at where you are now and refiguring out, like, is that still accurate or is it something so different? And 9 times out of 10, it's totally different. Totally different.
Well, and I think, too, like, we have clients that have come to us that received a previous diagnosis, like something like BPD at another facility, and they just think their life is over. Right? And I'm like, how in-depth was your screening for that?
Yeah, exactly.
How long have you had your symptoms? And I just don't feel like people pay that much attention to it. They're quick to hand out these diagnoses for insurance purposes, treatment plan purposes, whatever the case may be.
Or how long can you keep them and reimburse at a higher rate?
Right. Yeah. So I think it's really interesting. I mean, clients just need to be seen and heard and understood for what they're currently going through. Patterns that we've seen, we can assess for all of these things, but just not be quick to diagnose somebody because they really will take it to heart. And use that, well, like, I guess I have to quit my job now. I guess I can't go to school anymore.
Yeah, I'm not going to be functionable. Yeah. Which is and it's interesting. I have a young lady that she's a client of mine, and she just recently, I've been trying to get her to go the opposite direction and do her testing for her hormones first. But of course that was going to take longer. So she got in already with like a psych, and they very quickly are like, oh, you're major depressive. And I'm like, and I was like, did they say anything about your anxiety? And she's like, no. And her scores, when I've done her assessments, it's always her anxiety. And her depression's there, but her anxiety is much higher. And I'm just like, oh, I hate everything about this. And she says, she's like, the depression only kicks in certain times of the month. And I'm like, well, I can only imagine. And she's a teenager. I'm like, could you please? And I'm going to send her to you. Don't worry. You'll be seeing her.
But Rebecca likes to send me all the hormone patients.
I'm like, can you fix this, please? Can you please
I'm working on it.
Can you help me out here? Because it's frustrating. And I think that's kind of the thing, too, and kind of how we ended up correlating and like really collaborating on a lot of things is the lack of knowledge of like the mind and the body and how much they go together. Because even when I was in school, that was never talked about. It was never ever discussed that like this, your gut is what's making this worse. It was never discussed. And so as we've like gone along, we're like, oh yeah, that's real dumb. We should teach
I need there to be a lot more education.
And I'm like, could we talk about what shitty things are you eating? Oh, I can't imagine why you're sad. You know?
Yeah, or why you're constantly anxious and you're throwing back like 400 milligrams of caffeine.
It's awful. We talk about that with our clients too. Like that's always one of our questions. What does your diet look like? What does your caffeine intake look like? Because it does play a role.
Oh, yeah.
And I was somebody that struggled with pretty severe anxiety starting at a like middle school age. And for me, I feel like it was different back then because we didn't know a lot about anxiety, especially in children. And we certainly didn't talk about it.
Right.
And then when I got to high school, I finally told my mom and dad, I'm like, I think I need to go to like see somebody. Like, I'm not sure my heart should be racing all the time.
Interesting.
And they did. I was very
is
lucky
good.
that I
Yeah.
had parents that were like, oh gosh, let's get that looked at. There was zero shame around it.
Nice.
But I have friends and we have clients whose parents are very against it.
Oh,
Yeah. They don't want their kid to have a diagnosis.
We
to
have
be
14-year-olds
broken.
that come see us because they know that 14 is
Yeah.
the consenting age.
Yeah.
And we don't charge them.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
see them pro bono.
Yeah.
Because it's sad. They're like, please don't get my address. Like,
Right, don't
nothing.
tell my
parents
parents.
can't know
Yeah.
that I'm here. And it's
It
very
sucks.
sad.
Yep.
It's like, what year is it? Like,
Right?
I know. It's so
It's
bizarre
weird.
to me.
It is weird because I'm like, dude, it's 2025. I
Yeah.
don't understand why. And that's always like what is like interesting to me is the amount of conversations I'll have with people and they're just like either, and it's so, it always makes me think of like the Kennedys, how they would always say like, you don't put your crazy on the front
Yeah,
porch.
yeah.
And I'm like, no, you should put your crazy out there.
You
Put your
should.
crazy out. Let's all look at it. We'll wave at each other's crazy. My crazy will meet your
Yeah.
crazy. It's going to be fine.
and then everything will calm down.
Yeah, because
We'll all be
most of the
all
time when
right.
people are like, I've never been to therapy, I'm like, oh, that's cute. Let's sit down for a second
Yeah,
and talk about
exactly.
how
Yeah.
fucked up you probably are and you're not admitting it.
Well, and we always tell our clients, like, a lot of times people are in therapy for the people in their life that won't go to therapy.
Yeah.
And we're like, just do it. Like, what do you think is going to happen?
Right.
That's why when we're out in the community and we're talking about therapy, we're kind of saying, this is what therapy actually looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not here to do any of these things.
Right.
We follow your lead. We want you to be leading the life that you want to for yourself.
Yeah.
And we just want to help you through that. But, we're not shrinks. We're not here
Right.
to ruin your life.
Yeah.
Give you lobotomies.
Yeah.
Or give you a lobotomy. We can give you TMS. Very different, by the way. But yeah, so I think it's just getting the word out there. And I think that that's one good thing that social media has done is kind of highlighted the importance of therapy.
Yeah.
And about talking about it. It's not as big of a stigma as it used to be. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing that I can agree with
Yeah.
the social media.
Yeah, they
piece.
definitely. Yeah, you definitely have more access for sure. Like you were
Yeah.
saying too, like more resources.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a ton now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it online. You can do it through text message. That's incredible to me. Like, I would have loved that
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah.
Just having access to something.
Yeah. Just have somebody to reach out to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
stay away from the AI, but besides that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's getting weird.
I know.
I
I just like
know.
heard something about this lady who was devastated because her AI boyfriend broke up with her, and I was like, I have to change the radio station. I don't think I'm ready for this.
We're going
moment.
through that with some of our clients right now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There's one story I can't talk about because it's too specific, but I'm just like, this is a new world that
Yeah.
we're going to be uncovering over the next few years.
It'll be really interesting. I had a kid that I did an assessment for autism on, and he was 10, and he's like, I think I want to have an AI girlfriend before I have a real girlfriend. And I asked him why, and he said because that way I'll know how to do it right.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I don't think they correlate.
No.
But yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. And, people trying to find AI therapists. I think that, asking ChatGPT or these other ones a few questions is totally fine. And we should soak up that knowledge.
Right.
But trusting it to handle
Yeah.
your mental health, probably not a great
No.
idea. Or to be your companion, probably
Right.
not a great idea.
I mean, we've only been making movies about how bad that could go for you
I
for
know.
like decades, but
I feel like all
you've
those
never
things
seen
are going to
them.
be
Yes,
happening.
I have. She makes fun of me because I haven't seen movies. I'm like, I've seen so many movies. I just don't watch the same ones you do. I've seen 2 movies.
She just rewatches
it.
the same two and calls them different.
Whatever. I watch it
And
backwards.
it's funny because like the other day, my husband was showing me a video of I don't know if you've seen it, of the bear jumping on the trampoline. And I was like, is that real? And we're watching it, and I'm like, I don't know. But then, like, the next day, there was one, and it was exactly the same, but it was a bunch of bunny rabbits. And I was like, all right, this is
see.
some bullshit now.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, they released, like, a video, like, showing you how you could kind of tell. And, like, in the video, well, first of all, they said that typical animals that walk on 4 legs can't do that. Like, they can't bounce like that. It doesn't work. And if you look at the bear one, there's a tennis ball, and it's not moving at all. And they were like, that's kind of, you got to look for, like, these weird little things. But I'm like, kids don't know
No, they
how to
believe
do that.
everything.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, that's real. And you're like,
My mother-in-law, I saw that she liked a Facebook post that was obvious AI.
oh,
And I'm just like, no,
You're like,
do not trust everything
Mary,
that
this is
you
wrong.
see.
Abort the mission.
Yeah, but it's just so funny because we always see like these older people that are reposting these
Yeah.
obvious AI scam attempts, and I'm just like, oh my god,
Yeah,
what
and you're
is
like,
happening?
that's not a thing. That's not real.
I know. I'm so very grateful that my mother is no longer on Facebook. She's not on Facebook because her Facebook got hacked after she
yeah.
was like, some friend asked her, like someone else's Facebook got hacked, and they were like, "Oh, I can't reset my password for my
Yeah.
Facebook.
Can you?
Can you do X, Y, and Z?" And my mom was like, "Of course." purse. And I was like, what the fuck? And she lost everything.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And so ever since then, she just is like, no, I'm good. She basically gets on, like, I guess you can get like on Facebook without having like a user
account
profile. Yeah. And so you can just read like news stories or whatever, right? So she does like that, but she doesn't have access to anything because I'm like, dude, she is so gullible.
Yeah.
She's like, I got a phone call, I got a text message saying that I was a great candidate for this work from home position, and I was like, I'm like, you need to call me for every fucking decision you make.
Toll. You need to pay your toll. I'm like, we live in New Mexico, we don't have tolls.
I know. I asked my husband, I'm like, do you think this is like when we were in Costa Rica? And he was like, it says New Mexico. And do we have MVDs now? And it wrote New Mexico DMV. And he was like, that's not even the right fucking. We don't even. I was like, I am my mother.
They're getting smart.
I know. I do that all the time. I got one not too long ago where I had a warrant. They called me from Hobbs because my area code is 575, and so it was a 575. And he's like, "This is Officer, I don't know, shit kicker or whatever." He had like this big old fucking country accent, and I was like, "Who the fuck?" And he's like, "I just want to let you know that you have a warrant." And I was like, "For what?" And it's funny because I was in law enforcement, so I'm like, "All right, motherfucker, let's do this." And it's actually the second one. I've gotten 2 of these.
I've never gotten a call like that.
Gotten that one. I would be so scared.
I was
Me
so
too.
pissed. I was like, he's like, "So you have a warrant for your arrest?" And I was like, "For what?"
She was like, the fuck I do?
Yeah, I was like, "I don't think you know who you're talking to, sir, but we're gonna go."
I promise you're not finding that body I buried.
Yeah, I was like, I buried that shit good. I had a Montanza. The pig ate it. We're fine. So I was like, for what? And he's like, oh, yeah, for not appearing in court and da-da-da. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, so we need you to go stay on the phone with me so I make sure, that you're okay. And you're going to go to an ATM and get cash. And I was like, hold on. You want me to illegally drive on the phone and talk to you? And I just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. And he's like, yes, ma'am. And I'm like, this motherfucker. And I was like, and where am I going to give you this money? And he's like, at the sheriff's department. And I was like, oh, the one. And I like made up some address. He's like, that's the one. And I was like, look, motherfucker. I was like, I don't think you know who you're talking to. And he was like, well, you sound real pretty. And I was like, okay, all right. Yeah. I like hung up. I was so pissed because it's the second one. Yeah, they've tried twice to get me.
The weirdest shit happens to you.
I know. That's why I'm Meredith Grey.
She is. That's why do you know who Meredith Grey is? Yeah. Well, she's all kinds of weird shit. Fucking like and I'm like, yep, that's. Yeah. I have her on my phone as Meredith Grey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, that'll never happen. And I'm like, twice.
She's like, not once, but twice.
Yeah. Well, some scary stuff happened to a girlfriend of mine. She got pulled over in some super small town between here and Arizona. Oof. And it was like an unmarked car, but he had a light.
Oh, fuck
Pulled her over. She was by herself.
Oh, no.
And he says, I need you to get out of the car.
Fuck you.
And she did.
Oh, no, girl. This is where the banjos did.
Yeah. And then, she's telling me this story. I'm like, you and I watched true crime together. Like, your brain wasn't, like, going off. Like, maybe I shouldn't do this. And she's like, he looked legit, had a badge, everything. And he says, open your trunk.
The fuck?
And she opened her trunk, and her suitcase was in there because she was going to a family event for a few nights. And he says, open your suitcase, and grabs her underwear and starts touching it and looking at it. Yeah. And then she says, you know what? I think I'm going to call my husband. He's right down the road from me. He wasn't.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, we don't need to do anything like that. And she says, give me your badge number. Nope. And she ran and got in her car.
Oh, fuck that.
But yeah.
Oh, that's sketchy.
And it was like at 8 p.m. It was dark outside already in the middle of winter.
It gives me the creeps.
Yeah. So be careful out there, people.
Well, that's why they say, like, if you're ever worried about it, you just call 911.
Yeah, and tell them.
You can ask them.
Somebody just pulled me over. Is
and
this
I want to
legit?
verify.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just so you know. Because you would get out. She would totally get out. And then she would call me and I'd be like, get in the car!
Yeah, get back in.
This is Dateline episode 27, season 6. Get in the fucking car.
And then all of a sudden there's like funeral music playing in the background.
Yeah, exactly. And they're talking about how you fucking lit up a room.
It's so scary.
Yeah.
But I love Dateline.
Yeah,
love some Dateline. And then my husband's like, you wonder why you can't sleep.
So that's when I fall asleep too.
I know, I do too.
So
and I'm
peaceful.
like, is this wrong?
No, it's peaceful.
Yes, it's wrong,
it's
ladies.
You know why? Because when you're anxious, you need predictability. And you know what's predictable? Murder.
Yeah.
Murder is predictable.
And
like,
most
you're
of the
listening
time
to
they
it.
do catch them on Dateline.
Oh, yeah. And you always know.
She said on Dateline, they catch them.
Yeah. Because you always know they're like, she was stunning and beautiful. And then she met him. And you're like, oh, he murdered her.
Yeah.
And then you're asleep like that. It's beautiful.
That's true. Yeah.
It's the best.
Well, I know there's a lot of people that like to listen to that before bed.
Yeah,
so.
I think it's magical. I fall asleep in my earbud all night.
That's fucking wild to me.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm just like falling asleep to Rain and Thunder.
Oh, that's
Well, I
lame.
mean, I usually watch Seinfeld before bed.
My husband likes The Office.
Oh, yeah.
See?
That's
But it's the same thing over and over again. It's predictable.
It's the
Yeah.
predictability.
And
yeah.
then you fall asleep because you're not like fully engrossed in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. Like I could fall asleep to Law and Order SVU like that
yeah.
because I watched all of those 6,000. I might get a Mariska.
Yeah. That's a good one too.
Yeah, that one I can fall asleep to.
I wonder if mental health providers are just more avid listeners of
Or
all that
batshit crazy.
shit. Yeah.
Probably.
That's the
yeah.
second
It's probably a
part.
mixture of
def-
both.
We're fucking nuts.
Yeah,
yeah.
well, we
I
kinda
think you
have
have
to
to
be.
be
So are you.
to like. Well, I do mental health.
Yeah.
I'm not a therapist, but I do all the other stuff.
You are mental health.
It's just like you look it up in the dictionary. It's like a picture
There's
of
a
me
picture of Kat. She's like
with her wild and crazy hair that's not
And it's
actually
all
straight yet.
F89.9.
Yeah.
She's like holding the straightener. That, by the way, sounded like a fucking rocket ship.
It did. It did sound like it was going to take off.
was like,
it was all.
what in the
"Wee." I'm like, no, we're not curling today. We're not curling. I think you have to be
Crazy. To
real. Yeah, I think you have to be. There's like not crazy, but just like a little unhinged. You know.
Well, you know what's going to happen
To
is they're
get
going to
into
add this
it.
to the DSM now. Is they're going to add falling asleep to murder shit is going to be in the DSM.
It probably would be.
It's going to be like a V code, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, it's me.
And then we're going to think something's wrong with us.
I know, and then I'm going to
You
label
know,
myself.
There is something wrong.
Broken
with
as
you.
fuck. Yeah, that's my V
It's
code.
already broken.
Well, I mean, I think being a mental health clinician is not easy. And when we have interns every year, we take on 4 or 5. And I'm like, why are you here? Why do you want to do this? Like, genuinely, because this will break you.
Yeah.
This will send you into all sorts of feelings you've probably never experienced before. Like, your reason to be here has to be stronger than everything else you're going to come up against.
Yeah.
I know you're not doing it for the money. So
I love the good. I just want to help people.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
my
well,
favorite.
there are a lot of
I'm
other
like,
things you
more.
can do.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm like, you can help people at the zoo, so I'm going to need more
Oh,
than
that'd
that.
be great.
Right?
That
I
sounds
know,
pretty
I'm like,
relaxing.
I would
You
fucking
can-
rock it at a zoo.
Yeah.
She would. She
I would
loves a
just
good
walk
animal.
around. I would just animal fact the fuck. Like, we were going to get one at the end of this pod because we
amazing.
animal fact at the end of all of our pods. Cause
Not we, just Rebecca.
Just me. Yeah, just my tism gets to fucking swing high at the end of all of this.
Oh,
but yeah, and I
good.
got a good one for you today, so you'll be excited.
I can't wait.
But I would rock it at a zoo, is all I'm saying. I'd be like, okay, kids, we were just on vacation, and there was an otter, and this little girl was next to me, and I was like, did you know that otters have little pockets in their armpit? And she's like,
Oh,
really?
my
And I was like, yeah. We were like sharing little otter facts together, and then I looked around, and I was like,
God.
oh, that's creepy, because I'm hanging out with a 6-year-old who's not my kid, and I like scooted over. I was like, I gotta get the
You're
fuck
like,
out of here.
oh, my bad.
Yeah.
yeah, I
My
My
definitely.
son
like,
would love
oh,
that.
Fucked it up.
she was
Loves
excited.
animal facts.
That's what I'm saying. That's my favorite. She was very excited. We were talking about river otters versus sea otters.
Oh, how
yeah, she was super cute.
cute.
Yeah, I think she was about 6 or 7, so we were bonding. And then I realized that was weird, so I scooted over.
Right. That's probably a good
Yeah, I mean, her
call.
dad seemed okay with it, but still, I was like, I'm also, yeah, it was funny. Yeah, and she wasn't a little white girl, so I was going to steal her.
I can't.
just
I
like
cannot
Meredith Grey.
let you out in public.
No.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What are some of the reasons that you get for people to say why they want
Usually
in on
it's
it?
just I want to help people.
Yeah, great.
That's like the number one thing that we hear. Or I experienced my own mental health stuff growing up.
So Mrs. Sally Fix a lot. Okay, great.
Captain Save-A-Ho.
Well,
Yep.
that was me.
Me too.
Same.
Bad boyfriend after bad boyfriend. Then I was like, wait a minute.
I'm like, wait, let me fix this.
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
figure out what's going on with my own brain and their brain at the same time. But yeah, just family history of stuff. Those are the main reasons that we see. We also have a lot of people that are super interested in like school counseling right now.
Yeah, I've got a couple
I'm
of
like,
those.
oh my gosh.
I'm like, you should not.
No, don't
I'm
do
like, run.
that. Yeah.
That's why I was telling him, like, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Why? Why is it a terrible idea?
Well, you
many
are
reasons.
like one therapist and you're assigned to like 100 students.
And you get like 10 seconds
Yeah.
with each.
I know, but I hear you. But also, don't you think if we had more of them?
Yeah,
Well,
that'd
that's
be great.
the problem.
But we
if
don't.
If there was more in the schools and they were better equipped to take care of the clinicians,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, because I know some phenomenal
Yeah.
school therapists, like phenomenal, but I've also watched them beat them like a fucking pinata.
Yeah,
Because you get like
absolutely.
10 seconds, you got 5,000 kids. And the shitty thing is, too, is that the minute in the classroom that a kid is like at all difficult, where do you think those teachers,
Yeah.
and granted, I get it, teachers are also exhausted, and I would die if I was a teacher. I would never make it.
Yeah, I know. Every time someone's like, "I'm a teacher," I'm like, "Ooh,
I'm
okay."
like, oh, okay,
More power
Hail
to
Mary
ya.
to you on
Yeah.
that one. But the minute those kids do anything in class, they're like, go see the counselor. Or the minute the kid is inconvenienced, they're like, I need to go talk to my counselor.
Yeah.
And so these counselors are just like bombarded. And some of the schools have taken them out completely. There's only like, you're lucky if you get one
Yeah.
in some of these schools. So good
Which
fucking
is
luck.
like literally the opposite of what we should be doing.
Yeah, because when I was in high school, we had like 12 fucking counselors, and
Wow.
each one had like 5 of us, you know?
Dang, that's nice. I had one, and she was assigned to like 50 of us. But I went to
Oh.
a smaller high school. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember having a school counselor.
Yeah.
Like, I know there was one because this was, I didn't graduate in 05. Don't.
Oh, I was 04.
Oh, yeah? Where'd you graduate from?
Pious.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm Cibola. So I had like
I
a.
wanted to go to Cibola.
No, you didn't.
Well, you know, all my
abort.
friends went to Cibola because I went to LBJ. And I failed the entrance exam to Pius on purpose so that I could go be with my friends.
Oh.
But I failed it too bad.
Oh.
Because, you know, they call my parents.
They're like,
she
"There's
scored like
zero
a 30%.
chance."
They're like, she didn't even get her name right.
And then my parents were like, uh-oh. So they sent over all my testing scores from middle school.
Oh.
And then to punish me, I had to do summer school for every topic before I started.
Jesus.
So that one bit me in the ass. But
Yeah.
I was like,
Hard.
oh, that was a good learning lesson.
Yeah, you're like, all right, I just need to like do the thing.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
need to go.
Wow.
But yeah, we had one for every 50, 100 kids at Pius.
Interesting. I don't even think I ever saw a school counselor.
I saw mine a couple of times just because I was in trouble sometimes, every now and then.
Shocker.
I know. I was real funny. And I
Okay.
also hated school, so I was in trouble
yeah,
quite a bit.
that
I
was
was
a good
also very
combination.
dyslexic and nobody recognized it, so I was having a hard time. So I was in there mostly because, like, I was being a dick, probably. I mean, I was chill in school, but I had one teacher, my choir teacher. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Miss Borkert, fucking bitch.
What was her name?
Borkert.
Oh, I thought you
Bork
said
it.
porker.
I heard porker too. I was like,
That's fine.
oh, there's no way she made it through.
She could be that, but she hated me, and she would send me to the office quite a bit because I was real sassy with her because she was mean to me and I didn't like her, and she was the worst. So I had to see my counselor a couple of times because of that, and they were kind of like, "Could you get your shit together and not do this again?" But
And
yeah.
you were like, no,
And I will tell you this, though,
coming in
too,
hot again.
is that when I went to college, I had, you get your, like, admissions counselor. I don't remember this asshole's name, but I vividly remember he told me I was not going to graduate from college because I was a Scorpio, and his wife was a Scorpio, and she was real dumb. And I was like, the fuck?
my
And so when I graduated both times, I fucking sent him an invitation to my
Good.
graduations with a big fuck you on it.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah, he said I
crazy.
wasn't going to graduate.
Nice.
And
What's
I
that
was
have
like,
to do with being a Scorpio? I don't know enough about star signs.
I have no idea. I've never
Just
read
because he said
anything.
his wife was a Scorpio when she was dumb.
It sounds like
so
he
that
has
was
some
the only
animosity
correlation.
against
Yeah,
his wife.
I was like,
Like,
those
I feel
Scorpios
like
are
a little
crazy.
bit of transference, if
I
you
know,
will.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was also wrong. I got
Good
2
for
degrees.
you.
2 good degrees.
2 degrees.
Like that.
Just
Not
like
one,
that.
but 2 good degrees.
Well, Valley
But yeah.
High School had asked us to come in and talk with their high school students. And we said, okay, great. Like, what are the main things that high school students are having issues with as far as like emotions and regulation? The number one thing that they reported was anger issues. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Especially in Valley.
Yeah. I was not prepared. So anyway, we go down there and I thought we were going to like homerooms.
Oh,
So I brought 3 of my interns and myself, and we had our little like handouts and stuff. And they're like, okay, follow us. And we
Oh,
go to
God.
the fucking auditorium.
Yeah.
And it's full.
yeah. Like 900 kids
full.
there.
The entire fucking
And then
school.
I was like,
And
all
the
right,
one next
well. And then, we're all like mic'd up and everything. And my interns are visibly shaking.
Oh.
And then I'm like,
You're like,
this
"We
is the
fucked
best
up."
way to learn. This is the best way to learn. You just get up there, you follow what you were already going to say. It's just going to be a few more people.
a few. She's all,
97 for each
Yeah.
one we thought was going to be in here.
And those
Yeah.
kids were rude.
Oh, yeah,
So awful. And I'm like, oh man, like that's what I'm saying. Like as a teacher, I just don't know how you do it.
I'd kill
Like the
them all.
disrespect
Oh, it's
was
ridiculous.
on a different level. Like they were literally booing us, laughing at us, not participating, making out with each other,
Oh.
like in front of us. And I was just like,
Wow.
I was so proud of my interns though. We still laugh about it because they were like terrified.
Oh.
But I sat there and I'm like, I think that these poor kids, yes, they're angry for sure, but we know that anger is secondary emotion. Like there has to be something else that's going on with these poor kids here.
Yeah.
And like there's this one guy that stood up and he's like, what if I just want to punch people all the time? I'm like, well, then you need to give me a call.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
we
like, same,
just
but
sit
you can
down
work on
and
your
talk.
skills.
Yeah. And it was actually really, really sad to see. And then to hear the teachers' reports of how many fights take place
yeah.
there, like really violent fights. And we didn't see that much when I was in school.
Yeah.
So for some reason,
It's upticking.
it's a huge uptick.
I think a lot of them, too, I think they're bored.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think kids are bored. I think even though you have access to everything at your fingertips, which is also the problem, is that you have no patience.
Yeah.
You have no ability to like hold on a second and then get what, there's no gratification that's delayed at all. So you're expecting everything to happen in this rapid succession because that's how it happens on camera. That's how it happens on TikTok. And so I think that gets people frustrated. And then I think because that's not how everyday life is, when you hit that and you recognize that, then you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. This sucks. And it's like, yeah, it does suck, but that's what life is. And I think that's part of it too. And then I think a lot of them are bored.
I feel like they're also unseen.
Oh, yeah.
And unheard.
Yeah.
I mean, you bring up Valley. Valley is in like not the best part of town. I mean, not to say that like Cibola or Rio Rancho would be any better, but I mean, statistically, it's in a underprivileged area. And yeah, there maybe some parents are working 2 jobs or whatever. They're unseen.
Right. Or their parents aren't even there and their grandparents are trying.
Right. They're feeling, they're not feeling loved. They're not. Whatever it is, right? Their cup isn't getting full at home. And so they're bringing that empty and they're acting out because just like toddlers, any kind of response is a response.
Yeah. And I feel like there's just a lot of parents that aren't really invested in their children.
Right.
Or their education.
Yeah.
And it shows.
Oh, yeah.
And it's awful.
Yeah, because sometimes you meet those parents and you're like, oh,
yeah, we meet them all
there
the time.
It is. Yeah, and you're like,
so
that's making sense.
Yeah, because they're always like, fix my child.
Yeah,
and
in
like,
an hour.
But are you willing to do these things?
Right.
That
The
I
other
need you
97
to do
hours.
At home? No.
Yeah.
And they don't.
No. And they do that a lot with the teachers because I have a couple of clients that are teachers and they talk about that a lot. Like how, and it sucks because like the districts of the schools don't support the teachers. So the parents are like just as equally aggressive or unkind or shitty. And the district is just like, well, we don't want to get sued. So just kind of, shut your mouth. And it's like, oh, that's real fucking helpful. So then you got teachers who are irritated teaching kids who are irritated. And it's, it's interesting as I read a book, shocker for you. And it was actually probably one of my favorite books so far this year, just FYI. It's called Hidden Potential. Have you read this one? It's by Adam Grant. See, I even remembered the author. That's how you know I really liked it, because I never remember the fucking authors.
She didn't remember any names. She's like, I read this book.
I read this really great book. What was it called? But he talked about...
what was it? It was so good.
Yeah, he talked about how there's like this nationally recognized scoring system for education in schools and all the things, right? They do all the countries and kind of see where they fall. And Finland was kind of like, in the mid. And they were like, all right, we're going to pump it out. And so they have now risen. They were like #1 for like 3 years in a row. And then I think somehow...
For what now?
For the education system and how they educate their children. And so they were, I think, #1 for like 3 years, and then they dropped down to like 3rd place or whatever, but still very high ranking. So he went to like ask, like, okay, what is it that you did? And so like one of the things that they did that I found like the most fascinating is that they, as a teacher, you keep the same students for like 6 years.
Oh.
They don't rotate every year because then that teacher gets to know each kid way more intensely. So they know like, okay, this kid is dyslexic, so that's going to take that one longer. And Timmy over here can't sit. You know what I mean? So they learn, and they learn about their teachers. But the other thing that Finland does is that they make all of their teachers have at least a master's degree. They have to have a master's degree, nothing less, but they pay them exponentially well for that degree, which makes sense. And then they allow them to make the curriculum of their classroom with just a few stipulations of like, just keep on like these few things, but everything else is the discretion of the teacher, not the people who make the rules who've never been in a fucking classroom since they graduated. And that has caused them to have the most success in their education system because their kids get more, their teachers are more appreciative of their job, so they go into it with a different fulfillment that they give to their kids, and then they know them better, so they know how to twist things and tweak things for what that kid needs, making them feel seen and feel heard. And they even have like this little program. I don't know what grade it is that they do this with. I'll have to look. But he talked about they come up with like a little town in their classroom. You pick whatever job you want and you maximize it. You figure out how that works. How would you make that business plan? What does that look like? And they invite the real mayor to come in and like hang out, and they like have to go to every little stop, and like you go to the store or you go sit with the teacher or whatever it is, and the kids get a sense of purpose and a sense of what they actually want to do. It's pretty fascinating. Yeah. So there's that. So maybe we could learn from fucking Finland.
We won't, but we should.
No, we won't for 100 million years.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe I should move to Finland.
That's what I said. I was like,
There's,
should I
I
pack
think-
my shit?
I don't know if it's Finland or Norway. My husband was just telling me there's like a very like underpopulated place in like Finland or Norway or something. They will pay you like $90,000 to move there,
Oh, let's
so that
do
they can
it.
populate that area. I know. I was like, well, what are the stipulations? It's like you have to move there. It has to be your primary residence,
Sure.
and you have to like be willing to like not necessarily repopulate, but like
Sure.
to invest in the
Community.
economy.
community,
Yeah.
right, and like build
There's a place
there.
in Italy that'll do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
pretty sure.
amazing.
Well, I didn't know about that, but I know that it was either Finland or Norway. It was one of
Yeah.
those, and I was like, "Well, what's the stipulation?" And he was like, "You have to like, it has to be your primary residence. You have to invest in the community.
Fuck, okay.
You have to like, and then they also give you like a stipend to like renovate a home there if you needed to."
Oh, that
All right, well,
sounds
pack your shit.
amazing.
I was like, "Huh."
Well,
Maybe
if
I'll
it's
be doing
Finland,
telehealth
yeah,
therapy.
yeah, I was gonna
Right?
say,
I'm like,
yeah.
listen, I'm gonna figure it right the fuck
You know,
out.
you'll get a good education system
Yeah,
there.
that's
Well, and that was the
amazing.
other interesting thing is that the way that people in Finland look at their teachers in prestige is the same way we look at doctors.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They
That's
look
how
at
it
them
should be.
very differently than we
Well,
do.
we don't really look at doctors that great anymore.
Not right now. Well, in New Mexico, especially, we're real
Yeah.
fucked on that one.
Yeah.
But it, you know,
Our
it's
poor little
interest-
state is just
it-
struggling
Well, and
so
it's
much.
funny because I was on a Zoom call. What day was it? Monday, and I didn't stay on it for very long because I got real frustrated real quick. And
What? You?
Yeah, I know, shocker. But it was for that. Maybe you know about it. It's that collaborative that they're trying to reestablish.
The BH. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well, not everybody knows what that is, so give me an
it's
elevator
like,
pitch.
so back in the day, so back when Susana Martinez, before she fucked the pooch hard, and I mean fucking hard, we had a collaborative here that was the BH collaborative, like 432 or whatever the fucking number is. And it literally was just a group of people who all had interest in mental health. So whether it was a provider or were somebody just in the community, whatever it was, and they would collaborate on mental health initiatives and like how to get our shit together, right? Then Susanna shit the bed and said that a bunch of people were embezzling and doing Medicare and Medicaid fraud, fucked up, annihilated a ton of agencies here in New Mexico that have never come back. Sent in fucking Arizona, like companies from Arizona to do therapy here. And you know how New Mexico loves a fucking anybody from not New Mexico doing shit here, and especially Arizona. Then she was like, oh, I did the math wrong. I moved a decimal in the wrong place. Just kidding. Nobody did anything wrong. But it's too late. I mean, there's seriously, like, there's like places like in Raton, there's places here in Albuquerque that have never come back. Ever, because of what she did. So there is a group of people who have decided to try and bring back this behavioral health collaborative. And I had gone to the very first meeting that they had. God, it's been over a year. Yeah, it's probably been at least 2, I would think, because it was the very first one. And I found it very frustrating. And I was like, this is where the problem is like everybody knows there's a problem and all we do is talk around it and circle jerk each other. And there's never a fucking solution.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we are 2 fucking years later, and I'm still like on their email list. And they were like, if you want to come, they had a meeting for just people who were in the community. And then this was just specifically for mental health providers. So they had sent out like this proof from other states. I can't remember, Illinois, maybe. I can't remember. I'd have to look at my email. Nebraska? Maybe, of like how they're doing it and how they're handling their mental health crisis and the stipends that they're getting and basically like trying to pay therapists better and giving stipends for cancellations, things like that. So there's like states that are doing it and doing it right. Okay, there's evidence, there's proof, it's right fucking here. So then we all log on to this meeting and they're like, we're going to break you off into these groups where you can talk about the evidence. And I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Right.
If there's fucking evidence, can we just copy and paste?
Yeah.
Like, why are we recreating the wheel and spending years fucking talking about it? Just do it. Like, it's the same thing with the school system. Like, everybody clearly knows how to do it somewhere else better.
Right.
Could we just do that? Do we have to have a community? Like, do we have to talk about it? Could we just be like, that looks like that's working good?
Right.
What's Finland doing? Cool. Can we get that in a document and just, boop, here you go, motherfuckers. It's Finland Day at school for the next 10 years, and let's just see what the fuck happens.
Probably a lot of good.
Yeah, it probably worked out really well, but that's just part of why there's, like, I'm just like, we can't just recreate, like, exactly what someone else is doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know why the state is stuck.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't move forward
Fuck.
in anything, but especially mental health services, access to care, doctors, NPs.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult because I attend some of those LC2 meetings also, and I'm the ED of the NASW.
Right.
Like, I know what's going on. I work with the regulation and licensing department. I'm just like, what? Like, why? We're not even in the, I don't know if you know that there's a compact for social workers where their license can travel between states.
What?
We're not
Clearly
a part
I
of
didn't
it.
What?
We're not a part of it.
Why are we so dumb?
I don't know.
God, I hate this.
So, like, for us, you know, we would have to go get another license, apply, fingerprinting, all of that, because we don't want to be a part of this compact.
I fucking love that.
And it's just like one more thing that I'm just like, why aren't we taking these steps forward to be a modern society that's in deep need of additional care?
Right.
I don't get it.
No. Well, it's like I think us and Hawaii are the only two states that as therapists we still pay gross receipts tax.
We don't anymore. As of last year.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah,
but
please. Yeah, I'm like, girl, write that down. Write that
Yeah,
down.
definitely write that
writing with
down.
blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, and it is. It's like those things. And they wanted to do the same thing with doctors where they wanted to get out of the compact
Yeah,
also
I
with
know.
that. And everyone was like, whoa. I didn't know that we also got hosed on that.
We did.
Love
Yeah,
that
so
for us.
that will be my job
Well, New
for the rest of
Mexico's
the year.
also
Yeah.
similarly with nurse practitioners. There's for an RN, you can have a compact license as a nurse where you can go to
Yeah.
different states, but the NP license isn't
See,
compact.
I don't understand.
So weird.
We need these providers everywhere. Like, it
Right.
would just be easy if somebody would, like, moved here from somewhere and said, I want to be a social
Right.
worker.
Yeah, I just want to be
Instead,
here.
we're going to make it really difficult for you.
Yeah, real dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like, let me make this as hard as fucking possible
Yeah,
for you.
exactly.
It's everything. I know it's funny because like I've been doing this stuff to be a notary, and I still have been like fighting with them because I put my middle initial on one document and not on
Oh,
the other
yeah.
four.
Yeah.
And they're like, nope, nope. And I'm like, okay, so which one do you want me to fix? And like no one will tell me, and I'm like, you want me to fix all of them? Like it's one letter. Like it's one letter that like is on my driver's license is the letter, it's my whole name. So it's on there. And it's been like a month that I have argued back and forth with these people. And I'm like, to be a fucking notary.
Yeah.
This is like the craziest thing on the planet. I'm like, I'm not trying to sell crack. I'm just
Right.
trying to notarize some shit.
Well, it's probably easier to sell crack.
It
if you
would be
wanted
much
to.
easier.
It's much easier to sell crack than what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah.
We're just trying to
Yeah.
get the people that got the crack sold to them and get them healthy and clean.
yeah, no shit, seriously.
It's hard.
Yeah.
That's
so-
why people sell crack.
Yeah.
I know.
That
This
is
way
why.
easier.
And
Yeah.
feet pics.
And way more money.
And feet pics.
Next week.
We're gonna go. Yeah, you want in on that?
Sure,
We're gonna
why
sell
not?
feet
We're gonna
pics.
make like a whole thing. Our,
Is that still a thing?
Oh fuck
Oh
yeah!
my God.
Oh,
My my website developer, she said she would make us a whole web page if you want, and we could do
wow.
like themes, like Harry Potter themes. And I was like, oh my god, we would make so much money off this shit.
That's true.
Yeah, I told her your feet especially. She's
This
got
fucking
Frodo
bitch.
feet.
I do not have Frodo feet. I have very cute little tiny feet. They're not
She's Frodo feet.
They're not hairy. They're fine.
It's $25.99
Oh
right
my
there.
god. Whatever.
They look fine to me.
Yeah, see there. She said I have another human in the room that said they look
Yeah,
fine.
she has to be nice to you. She just met you. She can be a
Okay.
dick. Also, you give her IV. She's not going to shit the bed.
Whatever.
Okay, I'm going to give you my animal facts.
She struggles with transition.
Yeah, I'm like, that's it. We're done, motherfucker.
I'm like,
That was a
wow.
good transition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Frodo feet and animal facts.
But we were talking about.
Okay, are
feet
you ready for
pics.
this one?
Okay.
Okay, so did you know that the clownfish, aka like Nemo from Finding Nemo, so all clownfish are born male. And so whenever it's time, one of them will decide to switch and be a female. So that means that in the story of Finding Nemo, in real life, his dad would have turned into his mom and had sex with him to make more babies. And then, yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, take that.
I don't think I want to watch that movie.
No,
anymore.
it'll fuck you up now. Also, they're very protective of their little home space and even like very aggressive to like divers. They'll like get all crazy with them. And when they talk to each other, little clownfish, they make like a little clicky sound. Clicky, clicky, clicky. But yeah.
Wow.
Clickety, clickety, clickety. Like that. That's what a clownfish sounds like. And so,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna need to verify that.
Yeah. So Nemo and his dad would have, and you're welcome. Fuck you, Disney.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to keep that
I've
population
never heard
going.
that before. How do they determine which one becomes the female?
I think they rock, paper, scissors. But he had like a little fin. So he'd be like,
Bitch, I think they rock, paper, scissors. Here's the thing about Rebecca that you don't know since you've just met her is that she will give you the most fucking confident answer. She has no fucking clue what she's talking about. None.
zero.
Like,
But I'll make you
checking
think
is
I
But she
know.
important.
was like, I think they rock, paper, scissors. And you're like, oh, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah. Sounds like a legit way to do
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it does. Like, can you imagine their little fins? They're all. But like,
but they
Nemo
only
would
have
be like,
scissors or they only have paper.
Yeah,
They can't.
Well, maybe he go like.
No, they can't. The fins don't.
He could.
Okay, there she is.
He could. He could
There
have
she
like
is,
the
very
little,
sit- she's
the
like,
little
yeah,
flip
no.
top, little flip top that they have.
I need you to leave.
Get out.
I need you to exit the fucking building.
Well, I learned something new today. That's good.
See, that was good times. You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Good.
look up their little clicky sound.
I'm going to.
Yeah, you're welcome. And now you're all
YouTube it.
traumatized by Finding Nemo also.
Well, no, by you. And then
Well,
Finding
Disney
Nemo
does
just
gross
ruined
shit.
it.
So now you know. It's not the only fucking weird shit Disney's done.
Don't. Let's
That's
not go
for
there.
sure.
Let's not go there, okay?
That's a whole other pod.
Don't destroy it.
All right, Lauren. Well, thank you very much for being here with us.
Yeah.
It's been a good time.
Thanks for getting weird with us.
Where can people
Absolutely.
find more information about you and your things?
You know, all the 58 things you do.
Yeah. I mean, the easiest thing is just to Google high desert healing. And then our sober living facility, we only have one for men right now, but we're working on a women and children's home. That's called the Pines Institute. And if you're a social worker in the state of New Mexico and you are not an NASW member, you should consider doing so. And just look up the NASW New Mexico.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And thank you for all of our listeners. Our closer is, what is it? May your healing journey fuck with all of those who deserve it. Hallelujah. That's not it, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
That sounded good to me.
Very annoying.
I know, that's what I do. You're welcome. Pettyluya for you.
Pettyluya.
For
I know
you
it ends with
especially.
Pettyluya.
I mean, I was halfway there.